tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster. A reckoning, you wonder how I got this way. You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh. You think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face, got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh, you'll break your back to make me feel again. I stopped asking for forgiveness, cause you should know only fools tread where the angels fear to go, but you keep trying to get too close. Save myself by turning into stone. So save your judgment cause you just don't know. But some things never change, never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to a flame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You'll break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption never came.
I don't even know why I try anymore. I don't even know. I don't even know why I try anymore. I don't even know. You can't replace me. I'm awake, it's time to break free. I'm levitating. I don't even know why I try anymore. I don't even know.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, gravity pulls you straight down. Clear
Good evening, everybody on the We Are Wrestling channel, man. My name is Danny Huckins. If you guys do not know, guess what? Now you guys are about to find out. Unfortunately, it's just me tonight, man. It's just me tonight. Donnie, who is technically the head owner of this channel, he has work in the morning, but he's also going to Monday Night Raw tonight. He didn't even bother to watch the actual show. I did, however, do a live watch-along to the entire show. It's over on my channel, Danny H Vlogs. Make sure you guys check that out. Link is in the description. If you guys like watch-alongs, man, I go live Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturday or Sunday, depending on if there's going to be a pay-per-view. So you guys can definitely check out some of my content. Who do we got in the chat, man? We got Jack Howard. We got Vandit Shea, is that how you pronounce your name? If it isn't, I surely apologize. Tim Smith and Vandit Shea again. Jack says, what's up? What's going on with you, man? I've already been streaming almost 3.5 hours. I am dead tired, but you know what? I promised Donnie I was going to do this, and I am here. So, it's me, man. Vandit Shea said, best match of this premium live event is definitely goes to Flair versus Ronda. It was definitely a better match than I thought it was going to be. I will say, going into the show, right? Now, I do want to let you guys know, Donnie would get a little upset at me because he wants this to be a negative-free zone when it comes to pro wrestling. We're all pro wrestling fans, man. We all want these companies to succeed. Donnie and Ben both call me an AEW mark, and I guess I kind of am because I do side with AEW and TK a lot of the time. But that's the kind of pro wrestling that I grew up with. I grew up on the Attitude Era. I grew up on, just them not giving a fuck and, doing whatever the fuck they want to do when they want to do it. And I feel like the closest we have to that right now is AEW. So I kind of side with AEW and TK a lot of the time. I am what you call a WWE hater because a lot of people take my negative opinions and my negative thoughts as me wanting WWE to fail, me wanting WWE to give up and never, get back to its glory days, man, so to speak. With me, that is definitely not the case. I'm a kid from the Attitude Era. The closest we've gotten to that is AEW. I want WWE to succeed. I do. I want WWE to be a very watchable product. I want them to build talent. I want them to have compelling TV, compelling storylines, compelling motives for why certain things happen. And they don't really give us that, man. They give us Roman, the Usos, the Bloodline, RKBRO, occasionally Drew McIntyre when he's not feuding with somebody like Happy Corbin. And that's about it, man. You don't really get that much compelling TV on WWE television. But I will say Raw is better than SmackDown. My opinions, alright, my opinions on what I think of the product as a whole do not reflect those opinions of the entire We Are Wrestling family as a whole. They're my opinions and my opinions only. And if somebody doesn't like it, well then, I don't know what to tell you. But I gotta keep it real with you guys, man. I'm not gonna bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna, agree to something because, it's gonna fit somebody's narrative. I'm gonna say what I want to say when I want to say it. But I promise I'll say it in the nicest possible way I possibly can. Vandit Shea, once again, said, I don't know, but WWE is trying to copy AEW by creating similar faction like House of Black and just calling it Judgment Day. Whereas normally I would agree with you, that's not the case. WWE, obviously, because WWE has been around a lot longer than AEW, they, had factions like the Brood, the New Brood, the Ministry of Darkness. They've had a lot of dark factions in the past. So, can't really agree with you there. I do, however, believe that some executives obviously watched the AEW product and they probably got the idea for this new character based around, because it does kind of make sense now that we're talking about it, we're discussing it, the fact that the House of Black became prevalent in the AEW and now we're having almost a similar kind of faction in WWE. But I don't believe it totally is a knockoff of the House of Black, even though I love the House of Black. Edge is replacing Undertaker's dark role. However, Edge, if you guys remember back in 98 when Edge first came into the company, he came in like a vampire, man. Had a trench coat, aligned himself with Gangrel. His vignettes when he first debuted was him running around the streets in New York City and like dark alleys, and he was all about like the dark atmosphere. And I believe him, Gangrel, and Christian aligned themselves with the Ministry of Darkness for a short period of time back in the day. So Edge has done dark characters in the past, man. But we'll get to that. We're gonna be talking about the entire show. I don't know if I'll go as in depth as most people that review the shows. Because it is almost midnight, and I don't want to be here until 2 o'clock in the morning. But I'm going to do my best, man. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow me on all my socials. Like I said, I do live stream watch-alongs 4 times a week on my Danny H Vlogs channel. Link is in the description if you guys would like to go over there and subscribe. We can have further discussions tomorrow night because I will be live for Monday Night Raw. Anyway, as far as this pay-per-view, right? This pay-per-view as a whole, it was better than I expected. And I feel like a lot of people have that same mindset, right? Because the build for the show wasn't exactly up to par to where I feel like it should have been. But neither was the build to WrestleMania. The WrestleMania build had to be the worst build in the history. It lived up to some people's expectations, but it exceeded other people's expectations. I loved WrestleMania this year. It was a fucking killer show. Besides the main event. The main event for the Universal title, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, was absolutely fucking dog shit. And it was atrocious. I can't even fucking tell you. So the build for this pay-per-view, very similar. Very slow build. There was very little payoff going into this match between Charlotte and Ronda. It definitely did end up paying off, and I'm hoping that with this injury or whatever, it keeps Charlotte off of television for a while. Hopefully until sometime midsummer. One thing that I don't like about Charlotte Flair is the fact that I feel like she's relying too much on her being Ric Flair's daughter. She's pretty much took everything that her dad made famous, part of his legacy, and she's implementing it into her legacy. And I don't feel like it works, man. She got her and Omos got the most boos out of this entire fucking show. I think Happy Corbin got more cheers than both of them combined. They got booed out of the fucking building. They got booed out of Providence, Rhode Island. It was fucking nuts, man. So the build for this show, going into it, I did sort of like the build for Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, which ended up being the very first match of the card. Vandis Shea said, Cody versus Seth roll-up means Hell in a Cell confirmed, and we are going to see Cody versus Seth Part 3. Where I would normally agree with you, I don't feel like that's going to be the case. At WrestleMania, Cody's re-debut, I should say, we saw him face and beat Seth Rollins. Tonight, this evening, he beat Seth Rollins. If Seth would have won this match and would have tied it up, I feel like it would have been more prevalent to have a third match, but I don't feel like that's going to be the case. The first match on the card, man, we had Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. A very good back and forth match. You know, there was a lot of close calls. Cody, I feel like, I think I've said this on the We Are Wrestling talk show a couple times. I feel like Cody has always been one of those guys, even before he became this American Nightmare gimmick. If he's not on TV every week, I kind of forget he's there. It happened when he was in AEW. Because he would go away and film his reality show and film his game show or whatever. And, he'd be gone for, 2-3 months at a time or whatever. Last time I think we saw him in AEW was when he lost the TNT title to Sammy Guevara in the ladder match. When he's not on TV weekly, I kind of forget he's there, Obviously, you don't forget that he exists, but I forget that he's even there. I'm not what you consider a Cody mark, like a lot of other people. But for this match, we saw Cody Rhodes bounce back from Rollins' control period. We saw a lot of signatures. I will say Ben thought that Seth was going to win. I knew kind of like what direction they were going to go in going into the match. You know what I mean? Vandit Shea says if Bayley is not the first Ronda challenger, then I don't know what's wrong with WWE. I think that's kind of what they're going to go for. Do I have any confirmation about that? No. Do I think that's the direction they're going to go? Yes. I don't expect to see Bayley until sometime around SummerSlam. I say this a lot. It's just, she's been off of TV so much. I feel like they need to find a way to implement her into a storyline somehow. And I feel like with Charlotte off of TV, it's going to happen, man. But we saw a lot of suplexes. We saw a lot of palm strikes. At one point, we saw Cody Rhodes doing a fucking moonsault, which was absolutely nuts. And obviously, he landed, nuts and face first. When it comes to Cody, man, I don't really think of him as like a high flyer, I think of him as a striker, I guess you could say. Rollins, he does like the 450 splashes and half the time he misses and then he rolls out, and then he, either tries to go for the stomp or does, tries to go for the pedigree or whatever it is. But I thought this was a really good match. I'm surprised this match was first. And people say that, you got to start off strong in your first match or whatever. I don't really know if I agree to that. If anything, I would have started with the Lashley and Omos match first, or the Corbin and Madcap Moss match first, or whatever, because those two matches were definitely the weakest matches of the night. You know what I mean? So to have this match first, I mean, it definitely got the crowd hyped. When you didn't have that a lot of a pop as like you did for WrestleMania, I will say. But we saw Cody Rhodes defeat Seth Rollins via pinfall. And I do believe he used leverage using the tights or whatever. And you could see after the match, Seth Rollins was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this really happened right now?" It was definitely a good match. You know, it was, like I said, man, big matches like this, it's all about the build. And the build to the show was absolute shit. And nobody can tell me otherwise. It was just not that good of a show. I didn't honestly think the show was going to be that good, man, to be honest with you. Match number 2, man, was Omos versus Bobby Lashley. I can't stand Omos. I feel like he's not really improving. People, they took Lashley away from MVP, put MVP with Omos, hoping that it was gonna help Omos along the way, because MVP, I guess he's that mentor type. I don't necessarily feel like it's working. Omos is just one of those guys, man. Like, the dude got booed so bad, man. And you can tell the crowd's really not into him. Obviously there's some, little kids or whatever that, oh my God, he's tall, he's big, he's this, he's that. They never seen a fucking really tall person. So, they're into him, whatever. But a logic person, somebody that, knows, his way around pro wrestling or whatever. A little kid doesn't know what being green means. A little kid doesn't know, the in and outs of the pro wrestling business. And I definitely feel like Omos and Bobby Lashley was definitely one of the weakest matches of the night. I can't really talk about the Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin match because I was eating during it, and I was also paying attention to the chat on the live stream. So I know Madcap won, but I don't remember anything in the match, to be honest with you. So that's going to be a match that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. That's going to be very short and to the point. Just like this one, because does anybody care about Omos versus Lashley? Omos won, man. That's all you got to know. I knew it was going to happen. And I feel like for whatever reason they're going to be continuing this feud, because we saw Lashley beat Omos at Mania. Omos beat Lashley here. It's pretty much opening the door to be like, hey, we need a tiebreaker. We're going to be continuing this feud, and especially since MVP turned his back on Lashley. And so that's what WWE's thinking. WWE's creative and WWE's logic sucks 98% of the time. I'm honestly shocked that the show went off the way it did. Me and Ben watched it. I think I told you guys at the beginning of the stream, Donnie didn't even fucking watch the show. But Lashley took off for the first ending spear, but almost dodged it. MVP struck Lashley with his cane, and it pretty much distracted the referee. Omos picked up Lashley, dropped him. Omos got the pinfall, and that was pretty much how the match went. Omos won with a distraction and with help from MVP. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about it. I don't like Omos. I guess his pairing with him and MVP. I'm going to give it 2 months, man. If he doesn't improve by SummerSlam, get him the fuck out. That's what I honestly think, man. If Omos does not improve by SummerSlam, get him the fuck out. Because that means he's not going to fucking improve at all, man. Next match, man, is a match that I was very curious about. This was definitely one of my number one matches that I was psyched to see before they ended up changing it. Was the RKBRO and Usos match to unify the tag titles, because that means that WWE was gonna finally end the brand split, but that didn't happen. Apparently, Fox doesn't want WWE to end the brand split. Fox wants SmackDown to have own titles, own superstars, own whatever. I don't really necessarily think that's a good idea, for the simple fact that every other fucking week we have Raw superstars on SmackDown, we have SmackDown superstars on Raw. Roman Reigns is already the undisputed World Heavyweight Champion. We have people from NXT, going to the main roster, fucking Braun Breaker and fucking Grayson Waller and all these guys. I think Cameron Grimes even did a small little stint on the main roster. As far as the unification match, once they changed it, I was like, I can't be excited for this shit anymore. So my number one match of the night that I was definitely looking forward to, because I love the build for it. I'm really into like heavy metal and dark imagery and dark stuff. So this new faction, Judgment Day, with Edge and Damian Priest, I'm a huge fan of. Some of the promos are hit and miss. Some are really spectacular. I love when they attacked AJ Styles 2 weeks ago, and they crushed his arm in like the wooden case in the locker room. That was really brutal, and you could definitely tell during this match that AJ Styles was definitely selling the arm. He did a very good job at doing so. I'm gonna take a drink, man. I've been talking for the past 3.5 hours. I'm streaming now. I just got off a 3.5 hour live stream with Ben doing a fucking watch along to Backlash. I'm fucking parched, man. Well, this is a perfect time to say, if you guys enjoy this content, subscribe. We have a new episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show coming, I want to say tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, whenever Donnie's slacking when it comes to editing, man. So you guys got to, let him know in the comments that you guys want some more content. He does his best, though. Donnie's a good dude. So back to Edge and AJ Styles, and I guess we can include Damian Priest, and we can now officially say and include a third member of Judgment Day, man. Rhea Ripley debuted tonight with the faction. She has a whole new look about her. Dyed her hair black. She looks fucking killer. And it's good that WWE is actually doing something worthy with her, instead of putting her with useless tag teams. First you put her with Nikki Trash, and then you put her with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan 3 months ago, she had a feud with Becky Lynch, and she was, going for the women's title, and she was, I'm going to do it for that little girl in the third row that wants to be champion. And, that they had 2 matches that didn't work out, so they paired her with Rhea Ripley as a tag team. And again, that didn't work out too well. But this Edge and AJ match, man, it's fucking brutal. It won with Edge pretty much choking AJ Styles out. He was fucking unconscious. He was done. And a good back and forth match. I will say, Edge got his ass kicked. AJ got his ass kicked. I can't say who looked better in the match. They both looked killer. And I mentioned this to Ben. I was like, could you imagine Edge and AJ Styles going one-on-one in a match when they were both in their prime? Imagine, man. Edge from like maybe 2004. AJ Styles from like maybe like 06. Going head-to-head. That match would have been fucking nuts. Obviously, they both had their share of injuries. Edge, neck fusions and all this stuff, had to retire back in 2011, and he finally came back 3 years ago at this point, at the Royal Rumble, which was a fucking killer ass show. But it's cool for the fact that we actually got this match now. Because I don't think anybody thought that we were ever going to be able to see this match, man. Nobody ever thought this match was going to be a possibility. But AJ Styles went up and looked like he was going to be doing a frog splash. And he got, I can't remember, he got distracted or he got pushed off the top rope by a person dressed in black. Obviously, you could tell it was Rhea Ripley. She had, the same Rhea Ripley pants. I call them the Tim Burton Batman Returns Catwoman look. Because it has that shiny leather, maybe. I don't know what material they're made out of or whatever. Then Rhea Ripley got off the ring apron. Edge took full advantage of the situation, put him in a chokehold, knocked AJ Styles out clean, unconscious. You could see, I don't know if he was bleeding from the mouth or if he got, if AJ, cut his lip or whatever, but he did have some blood on his mouth, on his lip or whatever. And so at the end of the match, man, Edge's music plays, The Other Side by Alter Bridge. Great song. To be honest, I'm a huge fan of Alter Bridge. I love Miles Kennedy. But I will say, I have never heard this song before. And I think that's why I have, this love for it or whatever. When you hear a song or whatever, and it just fits certain situations. And I love how at the beginning of the song, you just hear Edge. You think you know me? You never did. And then the song just fucking plays. What can I say, man? I'm a sucker for that. So anyway, Edge is sitting there on his knees. Rhea Ripley gets back up on the ring apron, climbs back into the ring, goes over to Edge. Edge looks up, starts laughing maniacally. Rhea Ripley takes the hoodie off, and she has somewhat of a new look, man. She has black hair. She has a little bit more eyeshadow than she usually does. Looking a little bit more like, Chris Motionless in White. Check out the band if you guys haven't. They're fucking killer. And that's pretty much how that match and that segment went off the air, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Are they going to be on Raw tomorrow night? Are they going to be taking the week off? Donnie said he hopes that they're going to be at Raw tomorrow night because they're going to be in Hartford, Connecticut, and Donnie will be at this show. So if you guys are going to the Hartford, Connecticut Monday Night Raw tomorrow night, and you see my co-host with the most, man, you see Best One Donnie, make sure you guys say hi to him, I guess. But this was definitely hands down my favorite match of the night. Definitely, it lived up to the hype. This was one of the best matches that had the best build on the entire card. And I can say that with a straight face. SmackDown has been absolutely atrocious. Monday Night Raw has been a little bit better, but still very mediocre. They have a lot of issues, which I talk about a lot on the We Are Wrestling Talk Show. Koa Do, is that how you pronounce it? I apologize, man, if I mispronounce your name. Do you like Cody versus Seth? In my opinion, it is a little bit frustrated by the end because of the roll-up, but it is understandable to protect Seth. Good match, by the way. I really did. I liked the Seth and Cody match. Had a good build. I thought Seth was going to win. Part of me did. Because I thought they were going to continue the feud or whatever. But with Cody winning, I guess it means Cody's going to be on to bigger and better things. There's going to be no need for that tiebreaker match. And I don't necessarily see them continuing the feud and Cody losing twice or whatever to even up the odds even more. So I don't see that happening. But to hear my full thoughts on that match, you guys can definitely rewind the live stream when I get off, because it will be up on the channel. And you guys will be able to hear my full thoughts, man. Next match. Match number 4 on the card, man. we had Ronda Rousey challenging Charlotte Flair for the WWE SmackDown. Gotta reiterate, SmackDown Women's Championship match. I have a lot to say. About this match. This match surprised me. This match entertained me. I saw during when Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, I saw were in the crowd and fighting in the crowd amongst the crowd. That makes logical sense. I saw an independent pro wrestler, Trayvon. He's one half of the tag team Waves and Curls from Northeast Wrestling. Very prevalent to the area. He's also had appearances on AEW Dark. Him and his tag team partner took on FTR last October. If you guys want to see that match, search it up on YouTube, Waves and Curls versus FTR AEW, and you'll be able to see him. So he was sitting there with a purple shirt, and it looked like he almost was going to get involved. Pretty cool. But this match definitely surprised me, man. This match, you can definitely tell these women had a lot of hatred for each other. Because this was more than just a wrestling match, it seemed like. You know what I mean? With all the weapon spots, with all the, it legitimately looked like they were both trying to injure each other. It looked like they both hated each other. They despised each other's existence. And at the end of the match, when Charlotte Flair said, when Charlotte Flair said Happy Mother's Day to Ronda, and that's when she got the armbar locked in through the back of a chair onto Charlotte Flair. And that's pretty much the end of the match. Charlotte fucking was like, I quit, and started tapping out like a drunk woman. They were bruised, they were battered, they used kendo sticks, they used chairs. They fought in the crowd. It was a very... At one point, Charlotte Flair powerbombed Ronda Rousey onto the barricade. A very hellacious match. And half the things that they did in this match, I didn't even know if WWE would allow them to do certain things in the match. Because WWE, I mean, they cater to children. They're very PG oriented. They're family entertainment. There's things you can do and things you can't do. It's not AEW. And so I didn't, I was, half the stuff that they did in this match, I was shocked. I didn't think this match was going to be as good as it was. But we saw Ronda Rousey. She's the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Kayla Braxton said in the backstage interview, I think before the main event, talking about how Ronda Rousey pretty much broke or cracked or dislocated Charlotte Flair's arm. So she's definitely selling the injury. I do think Charlotte Flair is going to be off TV for some time. Maybe either comes back at SummerSlam, maybe comes back, before the September 3rd pay-per-view over in the UK. I don't know what they're planning on doing, man. I have no idea what they're planning on doing, but I'm interested in finding out. Is this going to be what brings Bayley back? Is this going to be what brings Alexa Bliss back? Is Alexa Bliss going to be getting in a feud with Ronda Rousey? Is Bayley going to come back and get into some kind of altercation with Ronda Rousey demanding a title shot? Who knows, man? But I will say, I honestly do not feel like Bayley will be back until around SummerSlam. I feel like Ronda Rousey she needs a good title run. If she beat Charlotte's ass tonight, won the women's title, and then loses it, next month or whatever, and just like a random one-on-one match, it'll definitely put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, and it's not going to be what people expect. So I feel like she needs to have a little bit of a title run. She doesn't need to be like the female tribal chief. She doesn't need to be, the Roman Reigns of the women's division. But I do feel like she needs to hold the title for a couple of months, build up to another feud or whatever, have a continuous story along with it, whether it's going to be with Bayley or Alexa Bliss. Ben said that he is kind of expecting her to feud with Becky Lynch, citing that Becky Lynch and her have unfinished business. Their unfinished business, yes, it was, there was hints at it, earlier this year, but I feel like their unfinished business went away a while ago. So I don't expect that to happen. Can it? Sure it can. Does WWE's booking and creative make any sense? 98% of the time, no. They instead of building new stars, they're releasing new stars. And sooner or later, what's going to happen when Randy, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, like what's going to happen when these guys, finally do hang up their boots? They're not. Roman's already been in the company almost a decade, a little over a decade. Like how much longer does the dude have? Especially seeing as he's, the guy on top right now. Nobody can touch Roman Reigns. And there's some news on that, which I probably won't get into now. I'll probably save it for a future episode or whatever, because I don't want to spoil everything, man. Even though everybody probably knows, Roman Reigns, he cut a promo at a live event last night and pretty much hinted that his time in WWE was going to be up sooner rather than later. So we'll get to that. You guys probably already know. If you guys go to Ringside News and you go to, Fightful, and you guys go to Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer, you guys go to all these other sites or whatever, you guys will be able to read up on that there. My cat wants to come in the room, but I'm not letting him in the room right now. Next match. I believe this was the second to last match on the card. And it was Madcap versus Happy Corbin. Madcap won. And this is a match that I wasn't really paying attention to because I didn't really care about it too much. I am happy that Madcap and Happy Corbin are finally split up. They're no longer together. And I feel like WWE did that because that was the only way they would be able to creatively figure out a way to end their feud with Drew McIntyre. That way Drew McIntyre can go on to bigger and better things instead of feuding with, these two lottery winners. I don't know. Madcap Moss. I can't be the only one, man. I can't be the only one. Madcap needs to get rid of the fucking suspenders. He needs to get rid of the fucking suspenders, man. Needs to get his hair out of that weird-ass ponytail. Needs to lose those fucking shorts. Needs to come in with fucking black fucking pants, kick pads, cool-ass designs, fucking hair wet, fucking coming out like a fucking badass. That's what Madcap needs. And, he's got the fucking build to do some serious business. But I'm sorry. I will not be able to take Madcap serious with fucking suspenders. And I don't care what anybody says. So there's not much I can say about this match. Madcap won. I definitely knew that was going to come. How it was going to come, don't know. But it's definitely a match that I don't feel like a lot of people really cared about. It was, over the last couple of weeks, we saw the writing on the wall, so to speak. And we got what we got, man. Now, the main event of the evening. As I previously said, man, before we get into the main event, I will say it was a great match. A lot better than expected. But before we get into this, man, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for all notifications. Make sure to click all. That way you guys get notified whenever we go live, whenever we upload a video. Me and Donnie go live every Wednesday, right after AEW Dynamite, to review the show. And I think this is going to be the format that we're going to have, man. It's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be using, because I'm using OBS, so I'm able to use all these cool graphics and everything. And I think this is what we're going to be going for. You know, the look, so to speak, or whatever. So I'll be on one side, Donnie will be on one side. We'll be able to review the show. We'll have cool graphics and stuff like that, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. More so than us just using StreamYard, and it's just us. You know what I mean? So I hope you guys really enjoy it. We'll be live again. I'll be live tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw on my personal channel, Danny H Blogs. Link is in the description. Feel free to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. You see my username above my head. Every time I go live, I usually do post an Instagram story with the link, so you guys will be able to get in contact there. Get notified there whenever I do go live. So make sure you guys do that. We're going to be getting into the main event, and then we're going to be getting out of here, man. I hope you guys enjoy this. Very new. Usually I have either Ben or Donnie with me. Tonight, unfortunately, could not happen. But I had to come in clutch for the team, man. And I hope I did a really good job. You guys can leave me ratings in the comments, man. I'm not much of a reviewer, but I do have knowledge when it comes to the product, comes to certain storylines, comes to certain matches. So I hope I did my best to entertain you at the very least. So continue hitting that subscribe button, man. Give us some likes. Turn on the bell for all notifications. We're going to be getting into the main event, man. So the main event, RKBRO, Drew McIntyre versus the Bloodline, man. Jimmy and Jey Uso and the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion, won the WWE title from Brock Lesnar in a very weak WrestleMania main event. Wasn't that good of a main event. How do I feel Roman Reigns has done? Since WrestleMania, since he won the WWE title from Brock Lesnar, I feel like he's been Roman, man. I don't know what else to say. You know, I kind of expected this from the start. I didn't expect it to really have much meaning. The thing that I really dislike about WWE is the fact that a lot of the single titles, majority of the titles in WWE, everything from the US title, the IC title, the WWE title, the women's title, the tag team titles, the women's tag team titles, fuck the 24/7 title. That needs to fucking be thrown in a fucking incinerator and burnt to death. Maybe, you know, somebody can fucking melt it down and make fucking grills. I don't know. Do people still wear grills on their teeth? I don't know. But I feel like WWE has a hard time in making their titles mean anything. You know, back in the day, we saw Bret Hart and Razor Ramon at WrestleMania 10 in a ladder match for the IC title. Back then, the IC title, man, was one step below the WWE World title. And now, I mean, there's very little meaning to it. Same with the US title. John Cena was one of the longest US champions in history. I just feel like WWE needs to get back to meaning things. They need to get rid of the women's tag titles because there's no women's tag teams. Every tag team fucking lasts fucking like 3-4 weeks, and then fucking they end up turning on each other because they can't stand each other. They keep losing. It's pretty much fucking pointless. 24/7 title, like I said, needs to be burnt, melted down, made into gold, made into teeth, made into fucking a candle holder. I don't fucking know. It just needs to be out of the business, out of the company forever. Fuck the 24/7 title because it's not benefiting anybody in any way. R-Truth, a great performer, spends half his time chasing the 24/7 title, and it's fucking ridiculous. So we're going to be getting into the main event, man. I went on a long rant there. I apologize. As I said at the beginning of the show, man, I got to be honest with you guys. My views when it comes to WWE do not reflect Ben, do not reflect Donnie. You know, they have a lot more love for WWE than I do. They call me an AEW mark. And at the beginning of the show, I explained why. So you guys will be able to rewatch the stream, go to the beginning, and you guys will be able to know what I mean, man. So this match, the build for it was good. I was really stoked. I was like, oh my god, WWE's finally giving us what we want. We want the titles to be unified. We want the brand split to end. You know, they don't have the star power like they did back in the day to where they can withhold two brands. And needs to fucking end. And then it came out that Roman Reigns apparently did not want the title. This guy is full of ego, man. It's almost like ego Ethan Page from AEW. Roman Reigns is all full of fucking ego. You're trying to tell me, right, knowing how Roman Reigns is, knowing how his title reign's been, knowing how into having championships is to the guy and his overall character, you're telling me that Roman Reigns would rather just fight Drew McIntyre in a 6-man tag instead of allowing the Usos to unify and have both sets of the tag team titles? Very unbelievable. WWE needs to get better creatively, because that's not believable for one fucking second. Knowing how egotistical that motherfucker is, man. He wants the fucking titles, and that should be it. And we were going to get that. We were going to get the Usos beating RKBRO to unify the titles, the tag titles, and hopefully it would have been on the way of ending the brand split. But Fox did not want that, man. And I explained that early on in the show. So what we got tonight was a 6-man tag. Going into it, I wasn't expecting much. Did I get what I was expecting? I got a little bit more than I was expecting. I will say 7 times better than the match that Reigns had with Lesnar. The match at Mania was very, very, very lackluster. I feel like it rubbed people the wrong way. It didn't really have the outcome. Well, it had the outcome everybody thought was going to happen. But as far as just being like, you know, F5 spears, I think they threw a Superman punch and a couple Superman punches in there. And then you had Roman pin Lesnar 1, 2, 3. Definitely, what I can't even remember the fucking like what the tagline of that match was. Greatest WrestleMania main event in history. That wasn't even the greatest WrestleMania main event in the last 5 years. I will say Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar's match was probably a little bit better than that. But I also don't work for WWE. I can't, you know, make a difference creatively. But I can come on here and allow my frustrations to shine through. So this match, man, it had the outcome that I thought was going to happen. We saw a lot of back and forth. Like, in the middle of the match, man, I mean, we saw super kicks, we saw Superman punches, we saw RKOs. At one point, Randy Orton got super kicked. I can't remember if it was Jay or Jimmy, but one of them super kicked him. He, like, went back, and then he just spun around and did the RKO. I marked the fuck out. Don't mind to tell you. You guys will be able to go to Danny H Vlogs, watch my watch along with Ben, and you guys will be able to enjoy in the excitement along with me, man. It was fucking nuts. We saw him go through the announce table. I think Roman Reigns. Who was it? Randy Orton? No, it was Drew McIntyre, I think. Or maybe Randy Orton. I can't remember. He gave Randy Orton the fucking rock bottom through the announce table. It's fucking awesome. We saw frog splashes. We saw Superman punches. We saw spears. We saw Riddle, with the running knee strikes. It was absolutely nuts, man. At one point, it was towards the end of the match. At one point, man, we saw. It was like boom, 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 back to back, man. Super kick, got knocked down. Claymore kick, got knocked down. Roman Reigns comes in, spear. And then we saw Randy Orton come in, RKO, bam. Roman Reigns got his ass beat a lot in this match. More so than I thought it was gonna, man. But at the end of the day, the outcome that we all expected to happen, happened. The Bloodline defeated Drew McIntyre and RKBRO by pinfall. And it was just, overall, it was great. It was great. I will say the payoff of this match was very lackluster as well. Just because, I mean, it wasn't that believable, man. It wasn't. Roman Reigns is an egotistical motherfucker. He wants the championships. And you're telling me just because Drew McIntyre came out to help RK-Bro, got into Roman's face, you're telling me that Roman Reigns would rather have a six-man than get the taste of having all the gold, having Jimmy and Jay unify both sets of the tag titles. He has both the Universal and WWE title. You're telling me he would rather just have a random match instead of just unify. It was a good match, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't, man. But it was a good, this was definitely a great main event. It was a great main event. It was a good show. There were a couple of instances on this card that I didn't really care for. Like I said, I didn't really care for the Madcap Moss match with Drew McIntyre, or with Happy Corbin. Did not really care for Omos and Lashley. We got the outcome that we knew we were going to get. But overall, it was a great show, man. I don't even know what to say. I can't have that much of a conversation, man, because it's only me. I'm not with anybody or whatever to get get somebody else's opinions. But, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I enjoyed this show, man. And, the end of the match, man. Roman Reigns won. He got the spear and pinned Riddle. And we saw Roman Reigns have the tapestry or whatever, the necklace, whatever, going up the table, going up the walkway. And he said, "This is what the Bloodline do. They run this business." And that is how Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash, went off the air this evening. It was an okay match. It wasn't anything spectacular. But it was pretty good. It was pretty good, man. But that's all I got for you guys, man. That's all I got for you guys, man. Like I said, I'll be live again tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, over on Danny H Vlogs. Link is in the description, so make sure you guys check me out, follow me, subscribe to me. Much appreciated. Me and Donnie will be live again on this channel Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite. So I hope you guys tune in. Hope you guys enjoy it. Should be a great show. Should be a great night. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I pretty much believe we're going to have almost different overlays and everything, but this is pretty much going to be it's pretty much going to be how the streams look from now on, because I think it's a little bit more professional, and I hope you guys enjoy it, man. I'm going to go. I'm tired. It's 12:30. I'm going to get some sleep. We have a new episode of the We Are Wrestling Talk Show coming up hopefully in the morning. I got to see what Donnie's going to do. It's going to be great, man. If you're a video game guy, you're going to want to watch that new episode. So make sure you guys subscribe. If you guys are subscribed, make sure the notifications are on so you guys get notified whenever the video goes live, man. Till then, I hope you guys enjoy Backlash. See you guys tomorrow night. If you guys are going to tune in on my other channel for the Raw watch along, I'll be live tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. Danny H Vlogs. Tune in. Check me out. And on that note, have a good night. I'll see you guys next time.